Hello my fellow Five Dockers, here is a story about buying cheese. Good Italian cheese from a local small business. One night this week we sat down to watch a show called Cheese Slices, and by the end of it I was hanging for some proper gorgonzola and taleggio. Here's a short clip from the show that gave me the munchies. I don't remember seeing taleggio at Coles, and I don't think they know the difference between dolce and picante, so I knew I'd have to pay a visit to our local shops if I wanted to get some. Now, what's the easiest and fastest way to get around Five Dock and visit multiple small businesses in one trip? Well, here's my answer. And it doesn't involve driving and parking. I'm putting this out here because I'm sick to death of the complaints about a lack of parking around Five Dock and how bad the traffic has become. I'm sorry to break it to you, but if you're driving, then you are that traffic. Now, I'm not going to say that a bike is the answer to every transport need in our area. We've owned a big four-wheel drive, and I completely understand how useful it can be. However, if you want less traffic and fewer parking woes, then it's time to consider the alternatives of walking and cycling where it makes sense to do so. I'll repeat that, where it makes sense to do so. Now, do you really need to drive a 2-ton vehicle to the cafe to pick up a coffee? Do you need all that carrying capacity to go to the news agency to buy a paper? I get that you can't lug a shopping trolley full of groceries home from the supermarket on the back of a bike. But when you go to the chemist to fill a script, are you really leaving with a trolley full of pills? If you visit a bakery or a cafe, do you need a shopping trolley then? Just how many bread, rolls and cannoli are you intending to buy? How many trips do you make where you're just picking up something so small and light it can fit in your pocket or a single shopping bag? Now I know there are many excuses for not getting around on a bike, and it's often perceived as a slow way of getting from here to there. In this case, I want to demonstrate riding from a deli in Wareemba to a bank in Five Dock. I needed to get some cash out after buying all that cheese. I've got the stopwatch going here, and you can see that it took me just over 3 minutes door to door. The distance is 1.4 kilometres. When we lived in Wareemba Street, I timed how long it took to drive to Coles on a few occasions. The average time, get this, was 11 minutes door to door. Now you're probably thinking, whoa, that is a major exaggeration. How on earth could it possibly take 11 minutes to get to Coles from Wareemba? It can't possibly take that long. I thought it was nuts at the time as well, but consider this. Driving to Coles involves going through, or more generally stopping, at 3 sets of traffic lights. Traffic on Great North Road usually slows down a lot once you get over the pedestrian crossing at Jada's Cafe. When I did the testing, you had to get around the corner into Garfield Street, and then you had to get into the car park, and then you had to park. Then you had to find a functioning ticket machine. That wasn't always available. Get a ticket, walk back to the car, stick the ticket in the car, lock the car, walk across the car park, go up the escalator, and whoa, yes, you're finally at the door of the shops. Most of the 11 minutes was not spent driving, it was actually spent waiting at red lights, crawling past Fred Kelly Place, then crawling around the corner, faffing around in the car park, and then walking across the car park. You don't have to do any of that on a bike. Coming from the Wareemba Abbotsford area, you can shortcut up East Street if you want to and avoid 2 sets of lights. And you can park right outside the doors to the shopping centre. You don't need to get a ticket either. My average time riding to Coles from Wareemba was 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Now I will put a caveat on that. In this video, I'm not riding casually. I've just been for a 40k ride, and so I'm pretty nicely warmed up. I'm cranking along here at over 40 kilometres an hour in some sections. And as a result, my heart is ticking over at 130 beats a minute, which is going fairly hard. It's anything but casual, easy riding. But, to go to the shops, you don't have to belt along like Lance Armstrong. You are allowed to just amble along and take it easy. Or you can buy an e-bike, do 25 kilometres an hour without any effort at all. Just let the motor do all the work. Now, one reason I think our local small businesses are doing it tough is that driving really encourages us to do all our shopping in one place, the supermarket. Once you've filled up your trolley and paid for it, it really is a major effort to do any further shopping. You've got a choice. You can push the trolley up and down Great North Road as you visit the butcher and the baker, the newsagent, and so on. Or you can take the trolley down to your car, unload it, and then lock the car, go back up the escalator, and continue doing your shopping. Most people get to their car and just go stuff it. I can't be bothered going anywhere else. It's even worse if you have to drive to the next location to buy something. The hassle of finding a parking spot makes it way too hard, and it's just easier to go home and put your feet up. I get this. and I think everybody else does too. So this is why I think we no longer have any fruit and vegetable shops in Five Dock. It's not that they weren't any good, they were very good. It's just that our car-centric thinking and acting killed them off. When faced with a choice between buying mediocre fruit at the supermarket or taking the extra effort to go to one additional shop to buy the good stuff, not enough people made the extra effort to make those shops viable. They went broke and they closed. And now we're just stuck with one option. It's not the shop's fault, it's our fault. Now, an interesting finding from cities like New York is that when bike lanes are built through strip shopping areas like Five Dock and Wareemba, local businesses experience an increase in turnover of up to 50%. And that's because shopping on a bike makes it easy and convenient to drop into the local shops to buy one or two things. I fitted panniers onto my bike, which is about as cool in the bike world as wearing socks with Crocs, but they do allow me to carry 2 bags worth of groceries. Like I said, I'm never going to do the weekly shopping for the family this way, but if we want some nice bread from the bakery, or some special cheese for dinner, or some better cuts of ham for pizza night, the bike makes perfect sense. Now, you can disagree with this if you like, but please don't complain about traffic and parking if you use the car for short trips and simple errands. None of us want to live beside noisy traffic sewers, i.e. roads full of cars, and the answer to that is getting out of our cars whenever that is possible. That's not all the time, I'm just saying whenever it's possible. And I think all of us can probably do that from time to time.